episode 6 of Rule the Waves 2, Let's Play Japan. And I thought I'd begin by recapping what our current situation is. If we look on the map, I have captured the Aotung Peninsula, so I'm firmly in control of that. And I'm planning an invasion of Sakhalin, which is this one here. Looking at the fleets, the Russians have got some ships here. They've got 6 old battleships, and they're also bringing some more modern ships, 2 new battle cruisers and a battleship, which are currently in Southern Africa, and they'll be in here in 1, 2, 3 moves. They've also got some other ships in Northern Europe, where they've got 3 dreadnoughts, and they've got another one in the Mediterranean. Let's look at what forces we've got. In terms of our battleships, we've got 5 pre-dreadnoughts. We've also got 4 new battleships, 4 dreadnoughts, 2 of which are slow ships at 22 knots, and another 2 are fast ships at 27 or 28 knots. So that's a bit smaller than their fleet. All of our modern ships have got 6 12-inch guns, which is a reasonable but nothing particularly special. If we look at what we're building, we've got one ship that's almost complete, which will be completed in 2 months, that's armed with 8 12-inch guns, and an improved version of the same design, which will take 19 months to complete. And we're also building quite a lot of destroyers. In terms of the destroyers, or the smaller ships that we've already got, we've got 64 destroyers and a building 8, so that's 72. What I would really like would be a fleet battle where we can launch all our destroyers at the enemy fleet and destroy it. We've also got 10 light cruisers, the Russians have got 12, 2 heavy cruisers, the Russians have got 11, and looking at pre-dreadnoughts, the Russians have only got 8 now because we sunk a load of theirs last move. We've got 5, and we've got 3 battleships against 4, 1 battle cruiser against 4. I'm reasonably confident about winning the fleet battle, providing we can get all our destroyers to bear. And once we've won that, we will be well on our way to victory. We also need to consider submarines. We have quite a lot of submarines, and we're building some as well. Most of these will be finished next move, and one of them the move after that. So I think I'm in a confident position right now. So let's play the next move. Coastal bombardment. Do we want to bombard their coast? It's a large battle size, which means that they might come and attack me, and I very much hope they do with my 62 destroyers. So let's accept that battle. So looking at my force, it's not as large as I would wish for. It's only 1 heavy cruiser and a load of light cruisers and destroyers. But in any case, we've got an attack. This is where we're going to bombard. The enemy will probably be coming from here. So, because they're coming from there, I'm going to put these in line ahead and put them about there somewhere. And the rest of my forces will just go straight to the target. Actually, I'll keep that on cruise. So these cruisers are going to block any enemy forces, whereas my main force is going to bombard the target. And we've sighted a ship, and here it is. It's an enemy ship, and these cruisers will go towards it. And we can speed up our main force now. It looks like they've got an armoured cruiser of the Vitez class, which has got 4 8-inch guns. It's quite a fast ship, 25 knots. So what we're going to do now is these little light cruisers are going to scuttle back to our main fleet, because I don't want them being destroyed by the enemy. It's important to keep one's fleets together because otherwise they might end up being destroyed in detail. That's why I moved them back with the rest. Now let's see what the ship is here. Looks like it's just a KE, so we don't need to bother about that. It's not something that's a threat to us. So we'll destroy the KE while bombarding the target. And we might as well pick up survivors. Now we've got our target here, and we're going to put our heavy cruiser right next to it. So that can be stationary. These can be stationary. And this one can be stationary as well. So all those ships are bombarding the target. And the enemy have decided that they want to attack us. Well, good for them. Which means I need to break off this. Because these big ships need to be up to top speed to fight a naval battle. Because otherwise they'll be sitting targets. So I'm going to move my destroyers in to attack his heavy cruiser, because it's the only one of my ships that's faster than it. These light cruisers can engage his destroyers while I'm waiting, and these ones here will attempt to catch up to his heavy cruiser to the extent that I can, because I really want to destroy his heavy cruiser because it's the only target that's actually worth anything. Right. Hopefully I'll be able to catch his cruiser against the shore. And what that means is that, see, here's the shoreline here, here's his heavy cruiser, I'm here, and so I will be able to manoeuvre in such a way that he can't very easily escape from me. It's quite hard to attack someone when they're faster than you because they fall straight away. As they've been forced into a little corner, which this one has, and so I've pretty much got his heavy cruiser where I want it now. Now we're going to make a flotilla attack because I want my destroyers to use all their torpedoes. These have got plenty of torpedoes left, This destroyer's got 5 torpedoes, and these destroyers have got quite a few torpedoes. So let's move this one in, the middle destroyer flotilla, while this one will also swoop in. We don't seem to have hit them. We've launched a torpedo, but I don't think it seems to have hit it. Yes! We've got a hit. So now that we've hit his heavy cruiser with our destroyers, we can move our other ships against it. Incidentally, my gunfire at the moment is not very good because I've still only got central firing. Some of the other powers, such as the English and the Americans, have got directors. What I would like to do is refit all my ships, all my big ships with directors, which I probably won't be able to do until after this war, because they're going to be far too busy. All my battleships are. Yeah, let's have a look at my heavy cruiser. It's been hit 4 times, and he's scored 24 hits with 9-inch guns, 12 7-inch guns, and no hits with his 3-inch guns. Well, that's lots of hits to go along with. Let's make that a bit slower. Force. Have these hit them? 18 hits. 21 hits. Mind you, 4-inch guns are really a bit pathetic. You can't really do a lot with them. They're not gonna. And they've been hit. It's been hit by another torpedo. So I think that ship is probably well and truly out of it. I'm going to make another pass on it because in my previous but one battle, I thought I'd destroyed one of his battleships and I hadn't. So it's always useful to make sure. Sometimes the enemy ships do take a lot of damage without sinking. Just heavy damage. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to here where the bombardment target is, and then we're going to continue the bombardment, and then if that ship, if his heavy cruiser is still around after the bombardment, we'll attack it again. This pathetic destroyer's not going to do anything. We're quite low on ammunition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. And now I'm going to switch everything to stop. Hit things. And we've successfully bombarded the target, so that's good. So now we'll move up to cruise speed and we'll go out here. And we're going to see whether we can. What's that? I'm going to set for force, yes. Now his ship was round about here somewhere. It's probably sunk by now. Destroyed. So it's time for us to head for home. And let's look at the scorecard. So we have lost no ship. He's lost a heavy cruiser, a corvette, a merchant ship, and a land target. So that that battle is clearly our victory. We've got 1,800 prestige. That's clearly a good result for us. And then we've got 12 new submarines, which will help in harming his commercial shipping. The enemy has put out feelers through neutral nations of a negotiated peace without border changes. We can fight on if needed. Medium-range submarines. We've sunk 5 merchant ships with our submarines, 1 with our raiders, and they've sunk 2 and 1, so we're ahead there. Now this ship has got another 2 months to go. We're in deficit on our balance, but it's only for 2 months, so that's not a serious problem. I'm going to build a medium submarine because it's the first one we can build. And it's the next go. Fleet battle, invasion battle. Now this is us invading Sakhalin here with our fleet of 4 dreadnoughts, 4 pre-dreadnoughts, and they've got 1 dreadnought and 7 pre-dreadnoughts. Excellent. It's just what I was hoping to happen. So looking at our ships that we've got for this battle, it looks like the battle generator has given us 18 destroyers, which is not all of our destroyer force. We've actually got about 62 of them, but 18 should be enough to cause some damage to his ships. Now, in terms of battleships, we've got the Kashima, which is here, a battle cruiser. We've got a main battle line here, and we've got our pre-dreadnoughts here. And this is our invasion fleet here. So, the objective is there, so what we're going to do is we're just going to sail towards the objective like this and see what happens. What time of day is it? Dusk will be in 5 hours. And they've got a battleship near our base at Wakanai. Well, good for them. We'll speed up to 22. I hate it when our ships just have minds of their own. These are airships here. So we've got another 7 battleships and 2 CLs. They seem to have their ships quite close to my bases here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything in this direction. Because I care more about sinking their fleet than I do about our invasion succeeding. Because if I do sink their fleet, then I will certainly be able to invade, if not this move, then in a few moves' time. So this is where our invasion needs to go. We've sighted some of his ships, so his fleet seems to be here, and he seems to have everything there. So let's. These are our pre-dreadnoughts. These are the destroyers that go with the pre-dreadnoughts. They will be speeded up. These are the destroyers that go with my battle cruiser. They'll be speeded up and go that way a bit. These are the destroyers that go with my heavy cruiser, and they'll be speeded up and go that way. What I'm doing here is I'm going to have some destroyers up here, some down here, and some in the middle. And all the destroyers are going to converge from different directions onto his fleet, so that whichever way he goes, he will be in the path of my torpedoes. That's the plan anyway. It may not work out like that in practice, but let's hope it does. This is excellent news. He's got his battle cruiser out in front. Can we see what any of his other ships are yet? No, they all seem to be unidentified, but this is an Ismail class. And this is armed with 6 12-inch guns, which is the same as all my ships, although all my ships are more heavily armoured than that. He's got his main battle fleet is here. So, what am I going to do now? Having thought about it, I've made a plan. This destroyer group, and this destroyer group, plus this battle cruiser and these battleships will all attack this battle cruiser here. While meanwhile, my pre-dreadnoughts and these destroyers will move up towards here. These destroyers will try and get round here, along here, and I know that he's got something there. This cruiser and these cruisers will try and go around this way. So that's my plan for now. And since we're about to have a torpedo attack, I'm switching the flotilla attack button on. What that means is that the destroyers are more likely to launch torpedoes. And these are all pre-dreadnoughts, which is interesting. That's a light cruiser. We don't care about his light cruiser particularly. His pre-dreadnoughts, these want to be, I think we're going to move these ones, these destroyers a bit closer towards our main force. This cruiser is a bit far away from our main force. What are these ships here? These are cruisers. They can go towards, in the vague direction of the enemy. I don't know whether they'll have much to do. Now he's got a destroyer here. This is a bit exposed. It's being exposed towards enemy fire, so I'm going to move these ones away for now. I probably want to wait until my pre-dreadnoughts are within range before I make the final attack on his dreadnoughts. Oh, this is interesting. He's moving them straight towards my destroyer screen. So, what I could do here is a destroyer attack. And I've got these destroyers here, which will attack from behind. And these destroyers here are in the path of his Ismail BC and all these Bs. So what I'm going to do is move them there. This Kashima will go here. And so the Kashima plus these three plus these four pre-dreadnoughts are all going to rendezvous about here somewhere. These need to move up a bit. This light cruiser needs to get around about here somewhere. These two cruisers seem to be a bit out of the way. I think they see he's got some cruisers here. What I'm going to do with these is just move them straight up. If they can do some fire against these cruisers or any destroyers he's got, then that's useful. But the most important for me right now is this destroyer attack that's going in. Actually, I wonder. Just puts a little flag to say which country the ships are from. Just makes it a bit more obvious what's going on. So I've got my destroyers coming in here and here. Let's see a bigger picture. His battleships are here. Now, my pre-dreadnoughts are here, and these ones are in here, so these can go in here. My heavy cruiser wants to go towards the important part of the battle. Kashima wants to go towards these ships here. One of them's been hit by a torpedo. Excellent. It's a good start. Some of my destroyers have moved past his ships I've still got torpedoes to fire, so I'm going to. Now his pre-dreadnoughts are all here, but his battle cruiser is here, and I've much rather destroy this one than his pre-dreadnoughts, because soon pre-dreadnoughts will be obsolete. So I don't care about losing my pre-dreadnoughts, and I don't care particularly about destroying his pre-dreadnoughts so much as I do about getting his battle cruiser. So what I need to do with my main fleet now, which is this ship, these ships, and this one, plus this heavy cruiser, is move them all round towards his battle cruiser here. This hasn't been hit, but it's hit one ship. So I'm also going to move my destroyers towards his battle cruiser. The important thing about destroyer attacks is to attack with large numbers of destroyers, because he can't get them all. That one's sinking, which is unfortunate. Now these two ships are probably quite badly damaged. Medium damage, heavy damage. Probably some of them will sink. One of my pre-dreadnoughts has been hit by a torpedo. That's this one. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. I've sunk one of his battleships already. So we're all moving towards this ship here, and what we're going to do is I'll just tell all my force to move in the direction of this ship, because we really want to get their battle cruiser. We care more about getting their battle cruiser than anything else. Scored 12 hits for that ship. Kashima's been hit by a torpedo. Need to move all my ships around so they can convert. All of his turrets are knocked out, which is excellent. Yeah. ammunition. We've got 52% of it left. We've scored 17 hits, not necessarily all on that ship. And we've also scored quite a lot of hits with our 6-inch guns. Hit them with a torpedo. So he's on fire. All of his turrets are destroyed. I think that ship is not going to present us with any more damage, with any more trouble. So I think we're going to break off the attack on it. And this is our invasion fleet here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to cruising speed and we'll move all our ships towards the invasion fleet to protect them. And now that we've reached the objective, we will get our main ships and we'll put the speed down to 0, set for force, and we'll just wait there for a bit. And so it's just waiting for the clock to finish. Right, so that's the battle ended, and we'll see what happened. We lost 1 battleship, 1 light cruiser, and 7 destroyers. The enemy lost his battle cruiser, 4 of his 7 pre-dreadnoughts, 1 light cruiser, and 2 destroyers. So I think that's a victory for us. And in fact, if we look at the points difference, we seem to have sunk about 4 times as much value of his ships as he's sunk of ours. We know that our battle cruiser was heavily damaged. Now I'm going to look at the damage on his battle cruiser. That's the Ismail. That was hit by 93 heavy shells, 118 medium shells, 98 small ones, and 3 torpedoes. So that was well and truly sunk. Looking at his other ships that were sunk, these 4 here, that was hit by 1 torpedo and 1 heavy shell, 3 torpedoes, 4 torpedoes, 1 torpedo. In all those cases, in these 2 cases, the torpedoes alone would have sunk the ship. These ships here seem to have escaped. That they were the ones that weren't torpedoed, even though they did have some hits against them. And after the victorious battle, our troops landed Sakhalin. We've now got 13-inch guns. Incidentally, the British and the Americans have 14-inch guns now. They also have directors. So I will probably be building future battleships in either Britain or America. And we're taking control of Sakhalin. We've sunk 3 merchants plus 2 is 25. 25 points. Fleet battle. The Russians want another fleet battle. No, they don't. They have wisely declined battle. Cruiser action. They declined battle again. Our new ship, BCR Icoma, built in Great Britain, has given us valuable insights into British AP projectiles technology. That's been commissioned. 5 more central line main turrets on ships. So, let's look at the strategic situation. We've now captured all the territory that we wanted to capture. This area here, which is Kamchatka, that's out of the range of our invasion fleet, so we can't capture Kamchatka yet. Let's see where the Russian fleet is. He's got a lot of ships here, but the rest of his ships seem to have gone back there. In this area, the Russians have got 2 battle cruisers plus 4 pre-dreadnoughts. That's only one less than us. I mean, I would certainly be up for fighting in those circumstances, but he isn't, undoubtedly due to the results of the last 2 battles, which have sunk large numbers of his ships. In fact, we can see how many of his ships we've sunk. We've sunk 1 battleship, 1 battle cruiser, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pre-dreadnoughts. And we've lost 1 pre-dreadnought Fuso. And we've also lost a number of destroyers, but that was to be expected. Now we've now got a positive balance of 3,000, so we could build another battleship, or we could build destroyers, or we could build submarines. I'm not expecting a major fleet engagement now, so I'm going to build some submarines with half of this money, and the rest of it I'm going to spend on more destroyers. And so that's me built submarines and destroyers, so let's play the next move. Cruiser action. Accept. Unknown ship sighted. I'm not going to be particularly proactive in attacking this ship. Now his ship has got 4 7-inch guns and a speed of 20 knots. My ship has got 4 9-inch guns and 7-inch secondary armament and a faster speed, so I am going to attack it because it's a weaker ship than me. I don't, as a general rule, I don't want to take risks at the moment. All I want now is to end the war with, because I've captured his 2 territorial regions that I was hoping to get out of this war. There's nothing else of his that I can capture. So what I want to do now is to damage his fleet, incur minimal damage to my battle fleet, and successfully end the war. And that's why I built the submarines, is for commerce raiding, which will force him to capitulate, hopefully. How badly damaged is he? He's not very damaged. Oh, it's just heavy damage. How badly damaged am I? I've been hit 8 times, and I've hit him 6 times with bigger guns, and 5 times with 7-inch guns, so I seem to be ahead. And his ship's sinking. And let's see how well damaged it was. The Grummer boy was hit by 24 medium hits. That's 9-inch and 7-inch. He scored 4 hits with his 7-inch and 8 hits with his 5-inch. And no hits with his 3-inch. So that was a good day's work. His destroyer, the Grozny, 500 tons, 27 knots, 2 torpedo tubes, and some 3-inch and 2-inch guns. So it's a fairly standard early game for destroyer. Now I've got a bit of money, so maybe I should build another destroyer. So I've just started building 2 more destroyers, and that brings up to a total of 15 in the Konami class, which have got 6 torpedo tubes. So they're by a long way our heaviest and most well-armed destroyers so far. We need to put 5,000 tons on foreign stations, so I'm going to go into here and do that. These 2 ships need to go home. And that's everything for this turn. Cruiser action, accept. Russian Navy declines battle, no doubt led by brave Sir Robin, who bravely ran away. Small engagement. Accept. Russian Navy declines battle. Target designator. 20 points for each of us, so that's a draw so far. Enemy raid on coastal shipping. Accept. Unknown ship sighted. And that's the end of the battle. And we'll see what we lost. We didn't have any of our ships sunk. He lost a heavy cruiser. Let's have a look at it. It's the Varyag. It was hit by 66 medium shells, 10 light shells and 2 torpedoes. It only scored 3 hits with 7-inch guns, 5 with 5-inch, and 3 with 3-inch. So that's a victory for us. Our battle cruiser Ricoma has finished working up. We should not let them off cheaply, we should press for hard terms. We can secure even better terms if we crush them completely. Well, these terms sound like a good basis for peace negotiations. Again, we might as well make peace now. And it looks like it isn't peace. We've got shipboard airborne operations, so we'll be able to build an aircraft carrier at some point soon. An enemy submarine has torpedoed and sunk one of our destroyers. And we have scored 9 hits on their enemy merchant ships, whereas he's scored 8 hits on ours. We've also lost a submarine, so that's us slightly ahead, but only a little bit. And so that's all for now. The war with Russia still continues. I'm confident of it being a victory. And this is the end of this episode, and I will see you all again at the next episode.